I am KaRa, and I come to be with you at this time, these special times that you are in, as you are moving beyond the old paradigm, the old ways of thinking, the old brainwashing and programming that you have all been accustomed to, not only this lifetime, but for many lifetimes prior to this. But now you have come to the cusp. You have come to the time that you are more and more beginning to realize that it was just simply programming your mind in a sense of mass hypnosis across the planet, across the collective consciousness. But you, those of you, are more and more fully realizing that you were simply under hypnosis. And you have pulled away from it, each and every one of you now, because you are looking at things from a totally different perspective. As you look at the external world, you do not see it the way many of the population see it. They see the world crumbling. They see their lives falling apart everywhere. But you, those of you, see your lives actually getting better, looking forward to the times ahead. It is all about a perspective, a change in perspective for yourselves, and a remembrance, a deep remembrance within each and every one of you of who you are, what you came here to do. And you are the shining lights that are here to bring these great changes about, to bring this great changeover, to bring forward the great solar flash, because that is all dependent on collective consciousness. And together, those of you that have the consciousness, have the higher consciousness, and the higher light within you, are able to seed the universal mind with this light, with these higher consciousness thoughts, this higher being within each of you. Then those that are still yet asleep can begin to awaken, because they begin to draw upon that universal mind and the collective consciousness. And they take these thoughts of abundance, of power within each, of love, of oneness. They take it into themselves, and they begin to believe as you believe now. And the awakening process continues on and on. And those that would attempt to hold you back from your ascension process, to hold you in fear, and to keep you in the muck and mire of the swamp that they have created, it no longer holds you, just like it will no longer hold those that also awaken. And please trust that there are many, many, many more awakening across the planet. It is not how those of the forces of darkness want you to see. It's not like that at all. They attempt to hold the veil over you, to hold the mass hypnosis over you. But more and more are realizing that it is exactly that it is about programming. They are done with this programming. You are done with this programming. It's time now to program yourselves, to reprogram yourselves. Reprogram yourselves into the higher light within each and every one of you. And to move beyond just holding that light within you. Begin to spread it and share it wherever and as much as you can in any given situation. Call upon all of us, your ascended masters, we the galactics, the Agarthans, all are here to help you. Call upon the God Source to assist you. Call upon the universe to assist you. For we are all here to help you now. And more, those of us that have been watching over this entire process and participating wherever we have been allowed to do, we are now being allowed to do it much, much more, to intervene much, much more than we could before, because of the great awakening that is happening here on this planet. Great awakening now that is moving further and further into the next phase. The next phase that is approaching. And it is not far off at all, my brothers and sisters. It is right there in front of you now. Just as that finish line that you have heard about so many times now is right there in front of you. Yes, it is true that if any one of you or all of you suddenly decided, I am going to ascend now, I am going to move beyond this, there is nothing that could stop that if you indeed believed that you could now ascend. There is no waiting. There is no reason to wait. There is only to be in the now. And in this now moment, the light is spreading everywhere and will continue to do so until the light has consumed all of the darkness across the entire planet. And that is in the process of ensuing right now. I am KaRa, and I leave you now in peace and love and oneness, and that you would continue to move on and bring the light forward, bring the light of truth and love forward to everyone that you come in contact with. Even if it is not at your conscious knowing, you are still spreading that light just by being in proximity to others that are searching for that light. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om. Greetings to you. One who serves here, Shoshana here. And what a wonderful message that was from our dear sister KaRa. It's beautiful, wonderful. And we do not have a message to follow up on with that, so we will simply move on with your questions if you have them. We are ready. You can unmute your phones if you have questions.
Hi, I got a question.
Yes, dear Thomas, yes. Always the one to bring up first question here. And
I try.
that is good, because when you ask a question, it can bring answers to others that are wondering about the same question, that are somewhat shy, or what you might say reluctant to come forward and ask that question. So it is answered in this way. Yes.
Great.
Your question.
I love the channeling of KaRa and the healing chambers. I know that you don't give dates about when we can take part, but I'm just wondering approximately what can you give us more about when we can take part in those healing chambers? I'd love to.
First, we would say here, again, yes, no dates can be given here, but we can say that your med beds, if you wish to call them that, that is what they are being called at this time. It may change here, though. They are the precursors of the healing chambers as you visited here with KaRa. And other times when you have visited these healing chambers in other places here. So it is coming. It is coming for each and every one of you. If you just look at what is occurring and the various devices and technology that is being brought forward now to those that are ready to look for it, to see it, to hear about it. It is there, and more is beginning to come forward here. More are beginning to bring these devices forward and begin to work on them because they are not being stopped anymore. Those of the cabal, those of the dark forces, have too many things on their plate right now, and they cannot go and stop everything that is coming forward because, as we have used before in the metaphor of an avalanche, it is coming, and it cannot be stopped. And it continues to gain more and more and more momentum. Okay, Shoshana, do you have?
We do not.
Very good. Then we take next question into this one.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Could you kindly give us an update on the advance that was postponed, that we missed, that the information we were going to gain and all that?
What we can tell you is the information that was going to come forward at that time will be given out over a period of time here as we continue to move forward here. Just as what KaRa gave here in working with the soul star chakra in the way that she did here. You see, where you exited not through the third eye, but through the soul star chakra at this time. That is something that was going to be introduced at your advance. So we have what you might say sped up the process here a little bit. And we continue to monitor various things that we do with you and how you are affected by them. And at times we will pull back, and at other times we can move forward. You see? Shoshana, do you have anything you add here?
We will share. May we share, dear brother?
Oh, yes, for sure. Thank you.
Dear brother, the operative word here is postponed. But you see, this advance will take place. It is just postponed temporarily. A new announcement will be made. Namaste.
Very good.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Will there be further questions here?
I have a question.
Yes.
In my half-sleep state, I was looking at my wall where there isn't actually a calendar, but I saw a calendar. I didn't really see any dates or anything, but the pages that were turned up, as in the past, were slightly askew, just by a little bit. And I just wondered if there was some significance for us in that image about time or something.
It would depend on what it was for you, because that was for you specifically here in a sense of timing for yourself. As to what it was depicting or bringing understanding to you, that is up for you to determine here. And we would ask here a question here. When you saw this, what was your first thought that came to you about this?
Well, it was in my dream state, and so I was trying to straighten it out. And I didn't really think too much about it until later. I just thought maybe it had something to do with, time being slightly off. But it's also the past, too.
So then we would say the time being slightly off for you, for perhaps some specific thing that you are working on, perhaps? Is there something that you have been working on, a project or something of this nature?
Basically, I think it's a manifestation of the next step, where I can be living in a place that seems more appropriate for me. And also, to be in that state where, the prosperity can be put into place for some ideas and projects that I have in place or have in mind.
There, you have your answer. Shoshana may have other perspective here.
We will share. May we share, dear sister?
Please.
Dear sister, this image is a symbolic image, as in all images that are shown to an individual in a less awakened state, you see, in more of an alpha brain state. So you see, what is interesting to us is that you see a calendar with no dates. How do you know it's a calendar if there are no dates? What could possibly give you the idea that it is a calendar if you cannot see dates? We are asking.
It's the same shape and form that other calendars I have, and I actually have about 5 or 6 around my place right now because I like the new images that come up every month, and they always seem to be fitting. It was just one of those knowings.
So, dear sister, we will tell you that the idea that a calendar has no dates is a hint, you see. It's a clear hint to us that there are no dates, that you make your own dates, you make your own process, you make your own progress, you make your own timing. It is completely up to the individual. A calendar of dates is irrelevant. It is up to you to be in the moment and to take action when you are moved to take action, you see. This is what the symbol is showing you. And the fact that it was askew a bit and you were attempting to straighten it out would tell us that you, as many other individuals, have somewhat of an attachment to time, you see. So we would ask you to let go of the idea of time and think more about the idea of progress and process in your own life, and allow what is called time just to pass and move forward in consciousness, in progress and process as you are moved to do so. Namaste.
Wonderful, wonderful perspective. Yes, are there further questions here?
Thank you.
Yes, namaste.
Any further questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
I have an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity. I've been going into very large crowds lately. I'm seeing a bunch of concerts and shows before I leave the move away from the Southern California area. My question is, what can I do when I'm in these crowds? I'll tell you what I have been doing. Well, I was hoping that me being in physical proximity to so many people, what I've been doing is kind of visualizing what we do in our meditation, which is picture my when I consciously at least think about it while I'm watching the show, picturing my soul star chakra shooting out bright white light in all directions and connecting with all of the soul star chakras within everyone in that crowd. And I'm also trying to shoot out light from my heart and see if I can kind of connect all our hearts together, right, as a unity, as a oneness. So is there anything else I can do while I have these kind of unique opportunities to maybe do something within these large crowds that I can help awaken those people, or anything I can do to help move us forward?
That was exactly what we were going to say to do, but you are already doing it because you already are the system buster. You already know about this and what to do deep down within you, and to take what you are learning here in these calls and these different meditations and utilizing these processes that we are introducing to you. So bravo, we would applaud you for doing this. But at the same time, we would also say, have fun. Don't just do work here. Have fun. Enjoy the moment you are in as well. Enjoy the concert, if that is what you are there to enjoy. You see? Don't just work.
Yes.
Play also. Shoshana.
Well, I was trying to... Go ahead.
Would you like to add, dear brother? Please add.
Oh, I was just going to say, I tend to do it when I'm in a really high vibration. I wait till my favorite song comes on, and I'm like, ooh, okay, watch this. Boom, and I shoot light out. Or at least that's what I tried to do. So.
We will share here. May we share, dear brother?
Absolutely.
Dear brother, you have done this before. You have done this many times in other systems, on other planets, where you attempt to connect all souls. This is something that you have brought with you in this incarnation to continue to do. We cannot really add much here, but we will say, in addition to this technique that you are using, which is beautiful, which is marvelous, which is enlightening to all that are around you, is to see all things through the eyes of love, to hear all things through the ears of love, and to understand all things through the heart of love. Namaste.
Beautiful. Wonderful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Love it.
Would there be any further question here before we release channel? Nothing further, then Shoshana.
We hear one that is waiting.
Yes.
I just
Yes.
wanted to, I don't know if you're referring to me or somebody else, I'll give somebody else a chance. I do have a million questions, but I've decided I'm not going to ask it. But really, if you could send me the answer, because you all know what I'm struggling with anyway. So, but I just wanted to say that I did notice during the meditation that we didn't go out the third eye, and I remember thinking that was such an easy exit. I absolutely loved it. It was like effortless, and I was just like out before I knew it. And anyway, so I just want to thank KaRa and all of you for bringing that to us. I highly would love to continue to exit that way. It was, like I said, just effortless, and I'm very thankful for it. Thank you.
Yes, we would add here that we have introduced something to you that has not been introduced to many groups, very few as we find it across the planet here at this point in your evolutionary process, in your ascension process. So it has been introduced here and will continue to be utilized. And as you utilize it, it will begin to move into the universal mind, and more will pick this up and learn to exit the body in this way, rather certainly than through the third chakra in terms of in the solar plexus ego area, for that is not a safe way to exit. And the third eye is safe, but is not as easy, or we would say here, as a simple technique as just simply doing it through your soul star chakra and not even realizing that you are doing it. So
Yes,
it takes away the effort, as you have said. It makes it an effortless effort. Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of, it's like, as I would compare it to like when you just let your imagination soar. You know, and then that is, you're connecting with your higher self when your imagination's soaring. And it was like, you don't have to think about exiting. You just go. You just go there. It was effortless. I loved it. Yeah, let's just keep doing it. Thank you.
With KaRa, surprise, you are out. You see?
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Very good. Shoshana, do you have anything you add here?
We do not.
Very good. Then we are done for the time. Do you have any parting message here, Shoshana?
We will just say that for all that participate in this group, ask your questions. Do not hesitate. Do not pull back. For your questions are as important as anyone asking a question. Do not hesitate. Do not be shy. Do not think that maybe your question would be, for lack of a better word, stupid, because they are not. They open up a whole realm, a whole level of understanding that may not have been opened up. In our course of action, the only thing that we are allowed to do in this moment, in this setting, is answer questions. So we invite you, ask your questions, dear ones. Namaste.
Very good. And we would say here to pay more and more and more attention to your thoughts and your words as they become more and more crystallized as you have them. So if you have the same thought over and over, if it is about lack and limitation, then it will bring lack and limitation to you. If you have thoughts of abundance more and more, and the corresponding wording to go with those thoughts, then you shall have abundance more and more. Shanti, peace be with you. Be the one.
How do you wake up so fast?
I think because I'm very connected to the one who serves. So it's not like a jolt or anything like that.
Okay, everyone. We're back, sort of. Does anybody want to?
It was really, really great, James and Joanna. Awesome. It was wonderful. And seeing the ship in my third eye and KaRa's ship, huge. Oh my God, it was amazing. This is awesome. Thank you.
I wonder if people noticed it was a mothership, not just a small ship. It was a mothership.
I could see that, and it was a huge. The whole the med bed there, whatever the crystal beds or whatever, they were huge. A lot of the room was huge. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a mothership.
Well, the other thing, and one of the things that Shoshana does not want to do is be critical or sound critical. I know she does not want to do that. And but the question that was asked is, when can we participate? The first thing that I was told is, tell him he didn't participate. but I didn't want to say that. But I mean, it's sometimes I'm prompted to say things and I don't want to say them because I just don't, you know. But seriously, for all those that really participated in the meditation, that was a real experience. You were participating. It just, sometimes humans really want it to be a physical participation, but it's not always going to be that way. So you have all participated.
Well, I'm curious now to ask, does anybody have any physical sensations from going on that healing, in that healing chamber?
I did. For the most part, I stood in next to it and I put my hands on it while I was communicating with it what changes I wanted or what I wanted to be healed from or whatever. And so I was putting my intentions and establishing the communication with it, and I could feel the vibration. And so yes, I would say that, yeah, that I did have an experience. I wasn't sitting in a movie seat watching this happen. I was actually there and very aware of the environment. And to me, I was holding several of my sister's hands when we were walking towards the chambers, and we all went into a big room, and there were many chambers like lined up, and we chose the one that was calling to us, and then I stood there and I did connect with its consciousness, and I did feel a vibration, and I can't say a warmth or whatever. I was feeling a vibration, and I could even feel it in my hands that were touching it. And then I did end up going, I went inside as well. And then it was just a all over feeling. But when I was standing outside of it, it was intensely on my hands that were touching it.
Wow.
Great.
Wow.
Anybody else have any experience like that, or any kind of experience like that?
I did, James. It's KaRa. Oh, go ahead. Or
no,
pick one.
Go ahead, Carol.
Okay.
Go ahead, Carol.
I loved the one. I went into it and immediately laid into it, and it was just like floating kind of water, but it's very euphoric and very blissful. And this is awesome. And anyway, I'm laying there, and I didn't realize it, but there's a left hitch in my back this morning, and then a kind of a right pain in the lower left leg, and they're gone. And it feels really good, and I was feeling happiness. It's cool. Go ahead, Ken.
Oh, I just wanted to bring up that we did a more in-depth version of this at the last advance. And so I just wanted to bring up that maybe people who didn't attend the advance or weren't there, it is real. It's as much as you believe in the etheric experiences, what they said at the advance was it does have a lot to do with your belief, right? If you believed you were in the healing chamber, it does take some time for you to see that manifestation from the etheric to the physical, but it has a lot to do with their belief. And so I've had both experiences. I definitely felt it again today where I connected with the consciousness. I could actually feel it scanning my body once you've connected the consciousness, because it becomes one with you, right? And so it knows where you're ailing, even if you don't know where that particular area is. You could have a block meridian or whatever it might be. But I did want to bring up that the belief part is really key to actually having healing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and
oh, go ahead.
There is also, it's a little known fact that there is an etheric component to our DNA. So we have in our energy body, we have a replica, probably the original, of our DNA template. And so So that's how like spiritual healing would be attained, is they're actually reaching the consciousness in our spiritual body, our aura, our energy field, and our etheric body, and they are connecting with the consciousness of the etheric DNA. So, and that DNA at ethers is unlimited, and it's all connected consciousness. So that's how we can go into the ethers, which is basically what we're doing when we're leaving our body. We're going into like the etheric realm, and we are affecting the change in our DNA on a higher consciousness level. So, I mean, here on the earth plane, we're trying to deal with these idiot doctors who, don't even know that cancer can't thrive in an alkaline environment, or in an alkaline environment. It needs an acidic environment, right? So we're having to deal with dumbness physically here. So the smart thing is to go to the etheric plane like we do when our consciousness is going out through our soul star chakra to the higher dimensions, and we participate in these exercises like this healing chamber. We're affecting our DNA at the highest level. That is what comes down from the causal planes down through the mental plane and all the different planes to the physical plane, and that is what that does affect it comes in through our aura and into our physical body, and that affects the change within our physical DNA. So
yeah, so
I get so that yeah.
Yeah, so the point is that all healing takes place above the physical, and I honestly have thought of this for a very long time, that the med bed doesn't have to be a physical thing, because affecting a healing is at the higher is a belief, like Kent says, and then like Melinda says, that it's at all these levels, starting at the etheric level, and it trickles down. The physical is just the last stage of it.
Yeah. And they're telling me the med beds are not going to be at the third dimensional level. In other words, if we're still in third dimension, the med beds aren't going to be introduced. So we have to be beyond that as a collective in order for the actual med beds to be released to the general public. So like fourth dimension at least. So.
Well, anyway,
they won't operate at the third dimensional.
I think it's all a etheric process anyway.
Well,
you know,
it is.
Going into
that's why it can't happen
that
in the third dimension.
Well,
right.
Everybody's been talking about med beds and showing pictures and all that kind of stuff,
right.
But I really don't. I really think that it's an exercise in higher consciousness to begin with. So.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have anything before we close out the call?
Yes, may I? This is Catherine. So, I generally step outside at night, and it can be anywhere from like 10 p.m. to 2 p.m. And so, recently, for weeks, the sky at night has just been so lit up with heavenly bodies. So, and there's two in particular that I feel attracted to, but as far as KaRa's ship, so would anyone have any clue as to what sector, which cardinal direction that I could look to see that?
Okay, it just came to me. The immediate thought was northwest.
Northwest. So, okay.
Go from there.
Okay. That's
northwest,
interesting because
Yeah, northwest from where we are, you are. Yeah.
Also, just believe what you see.
Yeah.
Just believe what you're seeing, and listen for messages that come to you, because you know she's not docking her ship necessarily. She might be moving through the entire universe. So if you want to see it, you could ask her too. You could ask her.
Her ship actually is, I believe, docked.
It's docked.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
It's a mothership. It's not gonna, go everywhere.
Okay, I gotcha.
It's just sitting there waiting.
Okay.
Ready, waiting and ready.
So she doesn't travel?
She travels, but not in the mothership.
Okay.
I guess. That's what I'm getting. So, okay. Anybody else before we close out the call?
She wanted to ask.
Just one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. So I did sense that it was a mothership, and and I sensed that the crystal chamber was crystals. And crystals emanate light, vibration, frequency, and information. And so I sensed that. And as far as physical sensations, I just I opened and allowed. Okay, so and thank you. And so
That's great.
in my bed, I faced it south. So at night, south at the window in my bedroom, and so I can lay here and look at what's going on in the sky before I go to sleep. It's really cool. Thank you.
Okay.
And I want to remind everyone that crystals have an etheric counterpart.
Right.
I mean, a crystal is physical because we're physical and we're looking at the crystal. But if we're in the etheric, the crystal becomes etheric matter.
Okay. Anybody else before we close out the call?
Just one comment. This is Gina with KaRa. I see her ship daily. She comes over me all the time, and how ironically that just recently, I don't know if it was the last day or 2 days ago, I commented to her, "Your ship is huge. It's bigger than I've ever seen." I just commented that. But it was beautiful, and I double-checked that it was her because it was so big. And she's got a red tail, you guys. So her tail that comes up in the back, the very top of it, red. You can even see it at night. She lights it up at night because she wants you to see it. So, so it's not the mothership, it's her traveling ship. So she does travel, yes. I just wanted to add that in. Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Going once.
So what I'm thinking about right now, you guys, is, I know we canceled the advance for the end of October, but I'm thinking of another date. But here's the challenge for everyone. We need a minimum of 15 people, or it's just too difficult to do for a few. So it's better for us if the group energy is much more powerful, much more unified, much greater with that number of people. So if we can get 15 people to commit to this, and then we can have the event. So the challenge for the end of October was so few people signed up that there wasn't a large commitment. And I knew that, it had to do with a whole bunch of stuff. But, from time to time, I'm going to send out messages to see who's committed and who really wants to participate, because an advance is a very high level push forward in consciousness. And we need that group energy to do it.
Right now, I'm thinking sometime in the spring.
I was thinking that.
Sometime in the spring.
Yeah, because winter's going to be upon us.
Right.
And it's going to be too difficult.
Right.
So, yeah. But anyway, so just keep in mind, everyone, that we need that it would be the highest benefit for all to have at least 15 humans here
Yeah.
to carry
I
the
agree.
energy out.
I agree. And even more is better. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm putting that at a minimum.
To me, the best advances were when we had 25 to 30. You know.
Yeah.
Because we had the group energy going.
And it was fabulous.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think
go ahead, Kent.
Well, I was going to say, I think our minimal number last time, there was I counted, there was 13 people in the room. Plus, we also had a 20 on the phone. So I think that's the bare minimum. Like you guys are saying, 15 is a better goal to have. But while I'm talking, you have my commitment for any advances going forward.
That's awesome.
I'm
Thank
in.
you, Kent. Thank
so
you
chalk
so
me
much.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay, I guess we're going to close out the call. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And Catherine, are you ready to close us out?
I need a minute or two, Abby.
A minute or two.
I'm ready, but I need a minute. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we're going to wait.
James, Joanna, we need to manifest, all of us in our minds, manifesting that it's happening now, that all the borders are open, all the nonsense is stopped, and all that. All of us need to think that every single minute we can, so that by the time the next advance, we'll all be ready to go.
Yeah, no, totally, Carol. And it's really interesting because some of our friends from Canada were gonna come down, and then they were worried about this huge fine that would occur if they tried to get back into the country without being vaccinated. Now that's suspended, so we have to carry that forward, like you said, but not think of anything else. Not think that it could turn over, that it could change. Not anything else. Just focus on the change. Yeah.
Yeah. No back and forth. No discernment. No poking at it. Just it is exactly.
Yeah. No analytics. The analytics don't work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Catherine, are you ready? Okay.
Here we go. Okay, this is from Change Your Life with Dr. Wayne Dyer. And so I'll read a brief introduction, and this is the 73rd verse. Living in heaven's net. What is the net of heaven? It is the invisible world within all of the 10,000 things originate. And while it appears to have many openings, ways to escape, and ways to escape the inevitability of the intentions of the Tao. No one and no thing can exist beyond what the Tao orchestrates. Here is the 73rd verse. You are encouraged to be a respectful, cautious being under the net of heaven. All translations are studied are the same as in many different words. Here, for instance, there's brief and to the point. Reckless bravery, death. Cautious bravery, life. Therefore, the sage behaves in a cautious manner. So rather than seeing these qualities as admirable, be less of a dauntless hero, and more vigilant, alert, in order to live in the way. 73rd verse. Bold action against others leads to death. Bold action in harmony with the Tao leads to life. Both of these things somewhat benefit and sometimes injure. It is heaven's way to conquer without striving. It does not seek, yet it is answered. It does not ask, yet it is supplied with all that it needs. It does not hurry, yet it completes everything on time. The net of heaven catches all. Its mesh is coarse, but nothing slips through. And so it is.
All right, so Tao Te Ching, everybody remember the Tao Te Ching is a memorable book and full of wisdom, so it's great to hear from that.
Okay. And thank you, everybody, for joining us for our Sunday call. And everybody have a great week. And remember to remember you're creating your own reality every minute, every moment, every thought of your life. So have some positive, pleasant thoughts and words to go along with it. Take care.
Like
love
I
you
won.
All. Yeah, like I won. Nice. Take care. Love you all.
Love you guys.
See you next
Love
Sunday.
you.
Cheers.
Love
Cheers.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, everybody. Love you.
Love you all.
Hasta la bye-bye.